Hello friends and welcome to the channel. This is Stormhaven Gaming, I'm John and this is Timberborn. Okay, we are picking up on day 2 of this cycle, so we're just out of the drought. We're doing alright, the water is returning, things are flowing through everywhere at the moment. We've even got power coming off of these water wheels at the back there. So the bad water has filled up from this lake and it's flowing all the way through, so that's good. We're also getting a little bit of power from these water wheels down here. Not a huge amount, you know. What, just shy of 600 power coming off of there, which isn't nothing. It certainly helps when the wind is so weak. But that's where we are, that's what we're doing. We are hopefully filling up this reservoir here with bad water. That's the plan, at least. But up here we are laying in, or starting to lay in, the next tier of explosives. We need to make sure that this water source in here, the hidden one, is powerful enough to actually fill this up. Because we've got 2 large water pumps on here. So we need to make sure that that's not draining more than is being put out. I don't know how much. Yeah, what's that? 15 an hour. So it's about 30 an hour we're drawing out of there. So I don't know if that's going to be too much for that one tiny water source. But we'll see. If this fills up and starts overflowing, hopefully that'll be a good sign. I think it is filling up because it's covered this section here. So that's a good sign, but we'll keep an eye on that just in case. In terms of everything up here, we're still low on chestnut, so we do still need more chestnut plantings somewhere. Still low on maple syrup, but we did add in more maple trees down here. So once they're grown, I think the best one's about 60 odd % at the moment. 67% there, yeah, so a few days till they're grown, and then, what is it, another 12 days till they produce maple syrup. So it's going to be a little while before we get anything out of there, but it is set up, it's going to happen eventually. But we do need more chestnut trees. Down here we did eventually replant the ones that were killed off by the bad water overspill. Yeah, maybe a few more days until some of these are fully grown. Nice. So that should produce chestnuts in a few weeks, probably by the end of the next drought or bad tide. We'll be getting new chestnuts in there. All of our other food pretty much is doing okay. Sunflower seeds have taken a bit of a hit for some reason, but they are a popular foodstuff, so that's to be expected. We have used some of our antidote, but we still have over 300 in storage, so I'm not going to bother turning any of this back on. I think the next project is going to be up here, setting up a bad water release for these 2 water sources over here. Now it's going to be a bit of a pain getting to. Yeah, I think our best bet is to bring a zipline station up onto this level somewhere, and then we can carry that across and ideally down into this section as well. Obviously we'll need to build a path down there in order to be able to build the zipline stations, but it will at least speed up transit between those points once it's built. Okay. Okay, how are we going to do this? I think we'll do this. We'll bring steps up there and then steps up there. And then where can we put a zipline station? Alright, if we put it further across there, hopefully that will that reach? Let me just double check that. No, it will only reach there. Alright, so we're going to have to do that. So we'll put that in there. We'll put steps up there and we'll bring the path around that way like that. Yeah, and then we'll connect down to there. Alright, that's a start. And then we'll continue on across this way. But we also were talking about putting in our next monument, the Fountain of Joy, up here. But it needs to go in water. And I'm not sure how small we can actually have that water at the bottom. It's probably going to have to be 5 by 5. Yeah. I mean, we might get away with 3 by 3. We'd need an additional, at least one additional spot. Okay, we'll have a look. I suspect 5 by 5 is what we're going to want anyway. Right, let's spin on till that zipline station is done. And hopefully they'll have got some of these explosives laid in by then as well. The good news is that this little water source up here is definitely putting out enough water that these 2 water pumps aren't preventing it from overflowing. So that's nice. We can definitely fill this reservoir. Alright, we're on day 6. We've got our zipline station set up over here. And I have set up the next step, which is steps down here. And overhanging steps up here to another zipline station on the edge of this crater here. And then I think probably we'll end up with another zipline station. Ooh. Yeah, somewhere over here probably. Yeah, maybe about there. Somewhere like that. Like that, rather. That's about the extent to which we can reach. But that will give us easy access to this water source behind here. There we go. And this water source behind here. So we'll be able to easily put in a release section for bad water. And just, again, funnel that off the map that way and that way. Yeah, and then maybe we could put in some sluices down there and fill in this gap, fill up that. Probably fill up that and use this as a big freshwater reservoir. Why not? Why not? We're not going to use it for anything else, I don't think. I think if we have that reasonably full, if we can get it up to sort of this level, we'll get a bunch of hydration around the edges of it that we can then use for planting or recreation or housing or anything we want, really. We'll be able to use this a lot more because there will be much more water flowing through here, which means this will be constantly hydrated, so we can actually set up some planting up here should we wish to. Yeah, and we've got access to these ruins up here as well, which reminds me, we're running very short of ruins down here. I mean, we are completely full of scrap metal, so we're not collecting it at the moment, but we only have 120 odd left up here. So we'll have to bear that in mind. We'll want to... once this is set in, we'll put in some steps up and we'll get some collectors set up over here so they can start working on this. But as I say, we don't need it at the moment. We're okay for the moment. We'll see. In terms of our explosives, we are making progress. It's, you know, reasonably slow progress, but we do still have more than 200 explosives in stock. So it looks like we're actually making them faster than we're laying them in at the moment. Which isn't ideal, but is also good, I suppose. Yeah. One thing I've noticed is that these waterfalls no longer both flow at the same time. Not sure why. These aren't actually pumping at the moment. So it shouldn't be anything to do with the amount of water we're taking out of there. For some reason, we've disturbed it enough that it's decided that it's only going to flow out of this side. Yep, whatever it wants. It's fine. Okay, day 13, and there's the drought warning. That's all right. We've got plenty of everything. 2,500 food isn't as much as we have had. We're still full on pretty much everything that we've got. Again, we're missing grilled chestnuts. We're missing maple pastries. We're currently missing sunflower seeds. Yeah, just because they get eaten quickly. I mean, I'm tempted to get rid of a bunch of this potato and replace it with more sunflower seeds. Yeah, in fact, that's what I'm going to do. Get rid of those 5 rows there. We will just demolish those resources, get rid of them, and we'll put that on a high priority. Oh, there we go. And we'll replace those with sunflower seeds once that's done. Okay, up here, we are proceeding. We've got the first sort of half of it done, and we're now moving on to the second half. So we're getting there. Slowly, but we're getting there. Up here, I've put in and rushed an additional builder's hut right next to the zipline station, so I don't have far to go to get to work. Just because we had the spare beavers, and we weren't really using them for anything else. And we only had 2 builder's huts previously. Now we have 3. That's an improvement. Numbers go up. Probably want another hauler's post, honestly. But we don't really have the adults for it at the moment, although I have put in some more housing down here. So we've got 8 children and 7 free spaces. So once this starts cycling through, we should have enough beavers to put in another hauler's post. In terms of this additional building work, none of it's been done yet because we're focusing on those explosives. Everything else is going fine. I was wondering, with these water sources, where are we? Because they're enclosed, if we were to destroy those 2 blocks and then drop all of this, including those 2 blocks, down to this level, would that increase the flow out of here? I don't know. Going over an edge reduces it to 2.2 cubic meters per second, right? So would it be best to just destroy these 2 and leave it at this height? Would that increase the flow? Or are these just going to put out the same amount no matter how much space they have around them? Don't know. If you know, let me know. That would be good. Okay, 8 days. Yep, should be fine. We've got plenty of food and water in storage. Okay, everything is closed up. So we shouldn't be losing water anywhere. In theory, this is still flowing out and will do for a few more minutes yet, probably. But that will soon settle down to that top level there, and we'll be able to see how much water we actually take out of here. I will switch off, as usual, all of these water pumps. And honestly, I might not switch them back on again. I might just delete those. We might delete these and combine them into one large pump. We'll have to figure out where we can actually put that it's going to be of use. Yeah, maybe a couple of platforms out here. We'll see. We'll have to see. But yeah, otherwise, we'll carry on through that drought as if nothing's happening. Our explosives are 3/4 of the way there. Still have 196 explosives in stock. We're getting through the extract a little bit more quickly, but I think each of these uses 2 extract and 1... Yeah, 2 extract, 1 explosive, so that makes sense. We're using twice as much of that. But it's not like we're running short. We'll have enough to do all of this anyway. Okay, so our new sunflower patch has been planted, and we are waiting for that to grow. Shouldn't take long. Only takes about 5 days to reach full growth. Yeah. Everything's going fine. Up here, still no progress on this path, but again, we are focusing on those explosives, so it makes sense. Up by this station here, I'm going to put in a path straight up and across to these steps here. And then we'll get ourselves a couple of scavenger flags up here, along with some storage for scrap metal. There we go. That should be fine. And this will be set to supply as well. That's unfortunate, isn't it? I originally wanted to put in another zipline station there, so we could come across this way. And that would be a perfect way to connect up to this station here, but haven't really left myself the space. I could try and squeeze it in there, but it's not ideal. I think it would fit. Yeah, it would fit. Maybe. We'll think about it. Like I say, ideally I wanted it up here. I guess we could put a couple of platforms in there and stick it on top of this warehouse with steps up to it, but yeah. Rather shot myself in the foot there. Never mind. Never mind. Okay, we have 14 children, 2 spare beds, 9 vacancy, 9 unemployed beavers. That's fine. Oh, it was asked why I didn't put contamination barriers in down here, and largely it's because I just haven't yet. I'm not sure how. I mean, we'd be able to put them across the front there. Then we'd have to move these steps. Not that that's a huge imposition. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I probably will. I'm not going to bother replanting these chestnut trees anyway. I will actually, for the moment, unpause that gatherer so we can get some of these chestnuts off of these trees. But yeah, we still definitely want more chestnut planting. And I was thinking around that Fountain of Joy, if there's enough space, really. We might get some hydration off the back of it this way, if we're going to put it in about here. So we might be able to get some chestnut planting up there. We'll have to see. I'm not going to bother laying any of that in just yet. I want to get, obviously, the explosives sorted out. I want to get the zip lines sorted out. I want to get this new scrap area set up. Yeah, but at the moment I'll spin on through the drought, see how we do. Day 20, halfway through the drought. We've got 6.2 thousand water still in stock, so yeah, we're still fine for water. Food, 2.6 thousand as before, we're still fine for food. Over here we've built the path across and we're just putting the final touches to the zipline station there. Looks like we're starting to build the wooden stairs next to it as well. So any second now that zipline station will be done and we can start thinking about the next steps. Obviously the next steps are these ones. Hey, there he goes. First passenger. Yeah, and we'll come up here and we'll put in the pile and the 2 scavenger flags to clear out these ruins up here. The ruins down here are still down here, although they are somewhat depleted. I think we're down to what? 80 scrap in that little section there now. This bad water reservoir has emptied itself pretty much. So it takes about 4 days to essentially drain all of the water out of there. So I am going to just close this sluice off now. Which means we're not getting a lot of power because, again, the wind isn't very strong. So I do think it would be worth expanding our windmills a little bit just to get more power when the wind is blowing. Yeah. Don't know. This is an idea that works. This reservoir, it does work. It just doesn't maintain a whole lot of bad water when that sluice is open. Yeah. Oh well, never mind. Never mind. It's something. It's a feature. We've made a feature. Alright, I'll spin on to the end of the drought then. There we go. The drought is over. We did absolutely fine. We've still got 6.2 thousand water in storage. Still 2.6 thousand food. So that hasn't dropped at all. We've only taken about a tile's worth of water out of this reservoir here. Just over a tile. So that's good. That water should now start slowly returning, as it should everywhere else. I think I've got the floodgates set pretty much where they need to be, apart from that one. That one needs to come up to about 0.8. Yeah, I did drain the water out of here just to top up our aquatic farming area a little bit. It didn't need a huge amount. It didn't get a huge amount, but, you know, it needed a little bit to prevent it from drying out over the last couple of days. And what we had up in that little sort of blocked off area there was more than sufficient. So, the water should be returning around here. It is. Over here, I have built, or I'm in the process of building, a staircase down, and our zipline station is going in down there. As you see, it does connect to this zipline station right there. Excellent stuff. And then we can think about putting in bad tide relief channels in under here, and then move across and do the same over there. Yeah, that's where we are over there. Obviously over here, everything has stopped because we closed the sluice to try and maintain a little bit of this bad water, but I think we can open it up again now. Whether it's actually going to start flowing or whether it's not full enough in there to flow, which I think is the case. Yeah, it needs to fill up a little bit more before it can actually flow there. And we ran out of bad water in this little section as well, unusually. But, you know, that is what it is. We are entirely out of bad water in storage. So we need this to fill up and start flowing quicker rather than slower. I've played on until day 4. We are doing okay. Again, food and water is absolutely fine. All of that is fine. Our food is actually increasing. We did briefly have some maple pastries, but our sunflower seeds are definitely increasing. I've turned off the tapper's hut, or tapper's shack, for the moment. I want to get a fair few of these maple trees actually ready with maple syrup before I turn it back on. And hopefully then we'll have a steady stream rather than it coming in bits and pieces. As you can see, our reservoir is filling nicely over here. Everything is flowing through here. It's all going well. Our bad water reservoir is filling. We are starting to actually pump bad water again because it is now flowing through that channel down there and through our power wheels, as you can see. So we have bad water in this channel, so these bad water pumps can have at it. I haven't bothered to turn any of these water pumps on. I'm going to see how we do without them, but considering that we got through a drought without dropping any water, I think we can probably live without them. I will, at some point, I'll say, get rid of the 3 that are on this little lake down here. Maybe replace it with a large pump. Don't know. Over here, I've opened up these 2 scavenger flags because they've cleared out the other ruins. So we're already starting to get in a fair amount of scrap metal from over here, which is nice. Ideally, they'll make pretty short work of that, and then we can use this space for building later on, which will be nice. And over here by our housing development, we've got some explosives laid in. So I've laid in a 5x5 grid, because I think that's probably what we'll need. So let's get these set off, shall we? Lovely stuff. Alright, let's have a look then. Let's have a look at our monuments. It's 12,000 to unlock. We have 62,000. I think we'll be alright. And we've got the resources for it, I think. Planks we've got enough. Treated planks we've got enough. Metal blocks we don't, but we're making them. We've got space. Come on, let me... There we are. That's the button I wanted. Alright, so that can go in there nicely. Can we reach it? No, we cannot. Can we get steps down? No, we cannot. Alright. In which case, let's get ourselves some dynamite in there to start with. We'll move this path around, because we don't need it going there anymore. There we go. And for the moment, we'll bring it up. Actually, we just need to bring it up to there. That'll be fine. Let's prioritise that. There we go. There's our explosives in, so we can set that off as well. Perfect. Right, we want to get some steps in there. And again, we will prioritise those. Once they're done, they should be able to get to that to be able to build it. Dear, oh dear. Okay, in fact... Yeah, I think I'll come back to about there with the path. And we'll bring it up to there. This is where we'll stick our water dump. Once this is built. And then we can bring a path around the edge. This way. Up to here, and maybe we can get in some chestnut planting up there. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, alright. Yeah, I was thinking about maybe trying to bring the path down there and putting in an overhang around there so that we can get some decoration down the front edge. But there's no reason why we shouldn't get decoration down this edge. Because the range of that one is impressive. That will cover all of our housing and most of our district centre as well. Right then, I'll let them get on with that. Okay, since it's now daylight again, start of day 5, we've come across to the reservoir because we've got a lot of explosives to set off. So we'll leave the episode there. It looks like we're just filtering out to start flowing over the edge there. So this is now as full as it's going to get, basically. So that's nice. So it takes about, 4 full days to fill up again after an 8-day drought. Fair. Not as fast as I'd like, but it is only one tiny water source. But we will leave the episode there. Thank you very much for watching. Please do give us any comments down below. I do enjoy reading them all. I try to remember to mention when people have asked questions or asked why I'm not doing something. I try to address that as often as possible. Don't always manage to. Please do give us a like and a subscribe. It really does help the channel out. And please join us next time. Till then, I've been John. This has been Timberborn. Please do take care of yourselves. Stay safe. And bye-bye.